checkered flag, significant of being the winner.
You can take my word to the bank. We're on a mission.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about it for Scotty Hartsock in the Gunslinger?
Here he comes. I tried to warn ya. Here he comes. I tried to warn ya. Here he comes. I tried to warn ya. Here he comes. I tried to warn ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Give it up for Scott Hartsock and the Gunslinger.
Hello race fans, as you saw from that little tribute video just before the Second Cup Series intro, the NASCAR Second Cup Series sends its condolences to the family and friends of Scott Hartsock, the driver of the Gunslinger monster truck from Monster Jam. He unfortunately lost his life July 15th, 2021, and Christina Bell in the number 40 will run the colors of his original F-150 monster truck on her number 40 here tonight for the Pennzoil 400 as we are here racing here under the lights. Now we're going to be racing here for 41 laps, and these drivers are going to be really trying to do what they can for our second consecutive night race. After last week at Ricky Raceway, Grayson Mitchell came out on top, and we have a new points leader, Tim Fiegel, who's going to start this race from the 30th position in his number 19. He's also sporting some new colors. Our front row consists of Dylan Pote in the 31, who unfortunately had some pit road collisions last week with Joshua Osborne and Matt McIntyre, so he's looking to turn his season around. And starting right beside him is Dustin Steller in the number 8, who also didn't really run that great last week at Ricky Raceway. But hopefully, with their new qualifying positions, they could come out on top here tonight. But a lot can happen in 41 laps. What will we see? We'll find out shortly, as we're just seconds away from those famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
Alright boys, just like we talked about in the meeting, what's going to pay off for us today is patience and consistency. Good smooth racing on the racetrack, and that's what will take us up to the front. We'll be there at the end of this thing.
As the drivers are now rolling off pit road, here is your starting lineup for the Pennzoil 400. Comes into turns 3 and 4, Dylan Pote and Dustin Steller are going to have an entire field of hungry drivers raring to get their first win, or we may actually have like another driver try to go for their second win of the season as the pace car makes its way onto pit road. 41 laps of action, and these drivers are getting ready to roll the dice and place their bets as the green flag is now out here at Vegas. Further back near the top 10, there's already there's already some 3 wide racing ready to happen as Dylan Pulte will indeed lead the first lap as they're about to go 3 wide for second place. Here comes Christina Bell in her Gunslinger number 40, trying to duke it out with Alex Drayton and Simon Oscon, and oh man, it looks like she got a little bit loose, but she manages to keep it together as Simon Oscon went to the extreme high side there. Alex Drayton barely finds his way in second place, running his Ford performance with the High Point colors on his number 14 as he finds his way into second place. Coming up, trying to get into the top 5 for the first time here tonight is Seth Cole, running his going back with the Liberty colors after finishing second place to Brayson Mitchell. He would love to get a win here. Heading further back, we got some 3 wide action back here with Zachary Fitzwater, Nathan Hudson, and Alex Ferranti in the 9 as we see Zachary Fitzwater now on the inside of Nathan Hudson, and oh man, they're running dangerously close, and oh man, there was also contact between the Penske teammates, but they managed to keep it together. Oh man, all these guys are running dangerously close here together. As we now see Jake Rogers and Matt McIntyre trying to get up here. Jake Rogers trying to get up there with his teammate Simon Oscon, who's running in the 4th position. Jake Rogers sits himself in 6th. It's still all about Dylan Pulte. No one has challenged that number 31 for the lead just yet. Christina Bell finds her way in second place, getting around Alex Drayton. And speaking of Alex Drayton, he's about to get passed by the 91 of Simon Oscon with the help of Seth Cole. Seth Cole dives down to the inside to try to get around that number 14, and Christina Bell is slowly closing the gap behind Pulte in that number 40. Let's head further back, and back here, there's a little bit of 3 wide action going on here. James Silverfox was going 3 wide with Mitchell Collins and Zachary Fitzwater, but Fitzwater wisely backs out of it as they're going double file some rows back as we see Michael Norman in the 21 running behind James Silverfox right now. Let's actually ride on board with the 21. Michael Norman all over the back number of James Silverfox, and they're working on trying to catch one of the Pennzoil cars of Mitchell Collins. It looks like Mitchell got a run on the outside now. Michael Norman had to back off just a little bit as they're trying to, as Silverfox works on passing Cody Lamas in the number 11. Clean racing so far, but that can end in an instant. Headed back up to the front, and oh man, Pulte, he went to the extreme high side. He led he was 3rd place last time by. That's gonna give the lead over to Christina Bell in the number 40. Simon Oscon hangs on to 2nd place, and oh boy, look who's coming up behind Dylan Pulte. That's Matt McIntyre in the number 27. These two got together last week on pit row. Hopefully they don't get together again. And oh man, further back, we see Mitchell Collins. He just got into the wall. And oh man, that's going to make him lose a ton of spots as he almost got together with Joshua Osborne in the 1 machine. And right now, he just got behind his teammate Dylan Young. Oh boy, Mitchell Collins, he really needs to find a way to get away from that high side. He's going to have a bumper full of Levi McIntyre and Kyle Matthews in the 77. He's bringing Dougie Shears along with him. Headed back up to the front. Now Seth Cole finds his way into 2nd place. He's going to try to do what he can to chase down that number 40. And it looks like Simon Oscon may have just given the wall a little tap. Right now, the lone Dodge in the top 5 right now. His teammate Jake Rogers is not that far behind him. He's stuck between Alex Drayton and Nathan Hudson in the 6. As a top 5 right now sits single file. We're having a battle for the 6th position between Jake Rogers and Alex Drayton. Jake Rogers looking to go under Alex Drayton for position, trying to get it, and it looks like he will get it. And it looks like Nathan Hudson, he's also going to the inside as well. And here comes Dustin Stoller here. He's trying to get back into the top 5, starting in this race from the 2nd position. Right now, he's getting behind Alex Drayton. He just got passed by James Silverfox. And it looks like he's about to get passed by another Toyota. That's like he's trying to get passed by him, but it looks like he didn't quite have the speed. As here comes Drayton's teammate. That's Sky Commons. Sky Commons having a runner-up finish back at Rockingham. He would love to try to get a top 10 here, or even a win. This is actually Commons' home track, I believe. This is his home track, and he would love to bring home a good finish for the Stewart Haas Racing stable. It's like that most of the field has gotten towards single file now, but now we see Dylan Poteet trying to bring Simon Oscon along with him for 2nd place. I don't think anyone has anything for that number 40 right now. That's Christina Bell. Ever since she's taken the lead, she has not had a challenger yet, as Poteet did the same thing. And oh man, it looks like Seth Cole got into the wall. And it looks like he did. I mean, that's going to make him lose a bit of momentum as he's, and oh man. Right now, he's working on trying to keep that position away from Jake Rogers. He got a decent run on the outside there, as we see James McLeod back here in the 51. He's trying to work on getting into the top 10, but he has to get around James Silverfox to do so. James Silverfox trying to do whatever he can to block James McLeod. Now here comes Cody Lamas with the help of Michael Norman to try to get around the 51. Can't quite do it yet, as he goes 3 wide with Sky Commons and Cody Lamas. Christina Bell still hanging on to that lead, but here comes Dylan Poteet now, trying to do what he can to chase her down. Simon Oscon, one of the highest running rookies so far. He's trying to do what he can to chase down that number 31. Let's ride on board with the number 91. As soon as we switch to the onboard camera, Simon green flag pit stops are going on right now. Wow, as soon as I switch to the hood camera of the 91, we're having green flag pit stops already. So the pit window is between 17 to 18 laps. But Simon Oscon, he came down, and I believe they gave the lead over to Nathan Hudson in the 6. That is indeed the case. Nathan Hudson will hang on to the lead, as Dustin Stoller also stays out, which will give him 2nd place. And oh man, there goes Jake Rogers. And oh man, we have a few more guys staying out. And oh boy, Nathan Orman, he went outside of the cone. And oh man, we got some contact on pit road between Joshua Osborne and Charles Sanford. But oh man, as I was trying to say though, we have to take a look at Dougie Shears and RJ Bishop. RJ Bishop, one of those drivers trying to roll the dice here, as he and Bishop have both stayed out. But it looks like that they're both going to be coming down now. We're going to have to keep an eye on both of these drivers here, as they're looking to take their green flag pit stops. We just saw Cole Deaver speed by. As we see Poteet, Hudson, Rogers, Stoller, and more leaving their pit stalls now. We're going to have to keep an eye on Dougie Shears to see if he's going to be the leader. And oh man, there was some damage to the hood of Joshua Mudd. He's completely missing his hood and front bumper. Oh man, we're going to have to go to the replays and take a look and see what happened. But I'm trying to get back to Dougie Shears, and he just left his pit stall. He is still shown as the race leader. And I do believe that here come the leaders right now. And I think that may have just given the lead over to Matt McIntyre in the 27. Yes, I do believe that Matt McIntyre will be the new race leader once they cycle around. Pit strategy already happening here at Las Vegas as we just passed lap 20. And oh man, we actually had a spin. Is the caution out? And yes it is. The caution is out as Matt McIntyre took the yellow flag. Oh man, this changes everything as we see Joshua Osborne. Now luckily I don't think Joshua Osborne is a lap down. No, he's not. It says that Poteet's a lap down. Oh no, don't tell me something happened with like on pit road with Dylan Poteet again. As we see Brandon Craster coming back down pit road, and he does have some hood damage, so it may have involved the 23. And oh no, Cole Daly, he has some damage here. Sponsored by Ethel M Chocolates. There's major damage to the 18. And I'm trying to see if there's anyone else. No. There's a little bit of rear damage to James Qualls. And oh man, I thought I saw someone up ahead smoking. And yes, I did. Oh no, that's William Brock in the 42. He's smoking. Oh man. Wow, I'm trying to get to him. There he is. Oh man, damage to the Sega Motorsports number 42 as he's trying to go back to the garage area. And oh man, he actually came in contact with Michael Norman. And Danny Wells also got involved. And oh man, it looks like, oh no, Michael Norman oh my god, he may have to teleport to his pit bus like the same thing that happened to Dylan Poteet at Ricky Raceway. I'm not sure. He hasn't teleported yet. But let's take a look at the replays and see what happened to the 18 and the 23. Before we see what happened to brought out our caution, this is what I saw like while the first round of pit stops were happening. Apparently Jonathan Zorla was trying to get into his pit stall and he completely turns the one of Joshua Osborne. As you see his car slide into the pit box as Osborne's trying to turn himself around. Then Charles Sanford gets into the right side. This is almost exactly what happened to Dylan Poteet last week at Ricky Raceway. And here we see Joshua Mudd here. Joshua Mudd, I believe, oh yeah, there it is. Levi McIntyre was trying to get into his pit as Tim Fiegel was just coming out of his pit, and Joshua Mudd just runs into the back of the number 60. That's where we saw all that front end damage on the 5. Now here's what happened to brought out our caution. Just coming out of turn 4, Cole Daly was right in front of Mitchell Collins here. As you see that his 18 gets just slightly loose. I guess the 22 took a little bit of air from under him as the 18 gets right into the wall out of the exit of turn 4, as well as Alex Drayton. But unfortunately, Cole Daly, he gets turned by Mitchell Collins in the 22 as he just slides right across the front straightaway as Mitchell Collins also gets hit from Cole Daly again, gets into the left side of Jessica Shelton, and that also makes the 22 also slide across as all 3 of these cars just spin. Brandon Craster was unfortunately a victim in this. That's where he saw that he got that hood damage. But it doesn't end there. There's going to be another car to come into view as we see Kyle Matthews speeding, just barely avoiding the number 23. As William Brock, he also gets into the 18 as well. And that causes the 18 to spin out just a bit more. William Brock getting that major front end damage on his 42. As we see Danny Wells and Brett Kenningberg get into the picture. Wells just barely misses getting into his teammate in the 22. As we see the 18 just puffing out a lot of smoke, but it's still not over there. Going to the outside, Zachary Fitzwater also comes with a full head of steam. He also gets into the 18. And that also gave a little bit of front end damage to the 4th Zachary Fitzwater. So I think it's safe to say that Cole Daly is not really having a good night here in Vegas. And here we are back at Las Vegas getting ready for the restart. We're going to restart on lap number 25. And we have 3 cars now out of the race. They are Brandon Crasta, Cole Daly, and William Brock. Now, Dylan Pote came back down pit road a second time, and that's why he's a lap down. So our pole sitter really isn't having a good couple of weeks here in the NASCAR SEGA Cup. But once we get underway, Dougie Shears will be our race leader. Second is RJ Bishop. Third, Jake Rogers. Fourth is Jonathan Zorlin. Fifth is Nathan Hudson. Sixth is James McLeod. Seventh is Charles Sanford. Eighth is Matt McIntyre. Ninth is Dustin Stoller. And running out the top 10 is Dylan Young. As the green flag is now back out here at Las Vegas. And Michael Norman just left pit road as well. I believe that's going to put him 2 laps down. Michael Norman, he got into it on pit road. Almost the exact same thing that happened to Pote last week that made him lose a lot of spots. As we now see Jake Rogers just take the lead away from Dougie Shears, as Dylan Pote is going to get put back a lap down. Pote's car is still up to speed, but he has to try to race his way back onto the lead lap, as Jake Rogers, he will hang on to that lead. And oh man, we're about to go 3 wide for second place, as James McLeod, he's looking to take it away from Nathan Hudson, but couldn't quite get it yet, as Dougie Shears is using Dylan Pote as a little drafting partner to try to keep his second place. But he won't have it for long, because here comes Nathan Hudson, and I think Shears just pulled the crossover move to try to keep that second place. But while that's happening, this is good for Jake Rogers, as the lone Dodge up here in the top 10 right now. He would love to get a victory. The last driver to actually give Dodge a victory was in the SEGA Cup Season 3 finale at Armory Digital Super Speedway, where James McLeod actually drove the number 91 to victory lane, as he's currently 4th right now. Well, actually, there's a 3 wide battle going on for 4th right now. Christina Bell, she's looking to fight back here, and oh man, she went way hard into that corner. Gets into the 51 of McLeod, and oh man, we got a couple drivers riding the wall. Kyle Matthews back there, he rode the wall a little bit in his 77, as he has a little bit of rear damage, as does James Qualls. Running the nation's guard colors on his number 77. Allison Ray ran that same scheme 2 weeks ago. It's a joint sponsorship between all the drivers in Inspire Motorsports. As we head back to the front, it's still all about Jake Rogers as he hangs on to that lead. Dougie Shears still plans to chase him down, as he still runs second place, as we're trying to have a battle for third now between Nathan Hudson and James McLeod. Nathan Hudson running the craft colors on his number 6 this week, as we now see Dylan Pote trying to work on getting under Dougie Shears. He hopes to try to get one of his last back, but it's been a relatively clean race so far here at Las Vegas. Further back, now we see Steven Gonzalez. He's made his way into the top 10 for the first time here tonight. Steven Gonzalez started in this race dead last, running the classic Heavenly colors. And oh man, there was some contact back here. There was some contact between teammates, actually, Brett Kennenberg and Charles Sanford. But Kennenberg managed to keep it going in that Speedy Cash number 38. Headed back up to the front, we see Steven Gonzalez trying to work on passing Dylan Young, which he does, and he's bringing James Silverfice along with him. Dylan Young stuck on the high side, trying to work on staying into the top 10 right now. He currently sits 9th. And here comes another driver who started way in the back. That's Stephen Colin. Stephen Colin, he started this race in the 39th position, as he's trying to go 3 wide with Jonathan Zorlin and Dylan Young. The laps are indeed winding down, as we have less than 10 laps to go. Headed back up to the front, Dougie Shears, he now sits in 3rd place, as James McLeod found his way into 2nd place. And here comes Matt McIntyre and Christina Bell trying to come back. And oh man, Nathan Hudson's riding the wall. He really needs to get off that wall. He really doesn't want to lose a lot of speed. Jake Rogers looking to give Everham their first win of the season here. how would that help out the Dodge stable? There's only 3 Dodges in the NASCAR SEGA Cup Series this season, as we're now trying to have a battle for second place between Dougie Shears and James McLeod. Dylan Pote continues to fall back. If anyone needs to help Dougie Shears right now, is his teammate James Silverfox. Right now he sits in front of Dylan Pote, getting behind Steven Gonzalez, who now sits in the 6th position. James Silverfox sits in 7th. As the top 5 are running dangerously close, but the laps are indeed winding down. We have 7 laps to go. Can Jake Rogers hang on to his lead? But now we see Matt McIntyre. He's going to try to take away second place from McLeod. But the question is, can these guys make it on fuel? I don't know if these guys can find a way to stretch it, as Matt McIntyre now takes second place. Christina Bell now sits in 5th, but here comes Steven Gonzalez trying to get into the top 5 for the first time here today. Does anyone have anything for that number 94 as McLeod goes to the outside? That's going to open the door for Christina Bell, as we now see Pote trying to get under Silverfox. Jake Rogers in the number 94. He's looking to try to defend that lead as much as he can, as we now go to the spectators camera to get a wide view of these drivers going around the racetrack. Matt McIntyre now has a bumper full of Dougie Shears. Dougie Shears, he currently sits 3rd. Dougie Shears has been in the NASCAR SEGA Cup Series since the very beginning in Season 1, and he is still yet to get a win. He would love to get his first win here tonight, but time is running out. He's going to have to work with Matt McIntyre if they're going to have anything for that number 94. It's a 3-car breakaway, as we now have 4 laps to go. And oh man, Matt McIntyre, he's going under Jake Rogers for the lead. Oh man, can Matt McIntyre get around the 94? Oh man, Dougie Shears stays on the high side to try to help him as the 27 clears the 94. And oh man, they're coming down pit road. Oh, Jake Rogers and Dougie Shears cannot make it on fuel. And oh man, I think we just had a wreck. And yes, the caution is out. Oh man, we did not need that to happen. A wreck happened while drivers were going down pit road, as Matt McIntyre is the race leader. But the question is he going to come down pit road or can he make it? But we have to see who was all involved here. There's some rear damage to the 22 of Mitchell Collins, and there's some damage to Dylan Pote. Oh man. Oh man, and there's some damage to Dylan Young and Alex Drayton. Oh man, and Pote takes his car back to the garage area and he is done. But oh man, this race may end under caution, but the question is, can Matt McIntyre hang on for 2 more laps going at pace car speed? I don't know, but let's take a look and see what happened to bring out our final caution of the night. Well, here's what happened to bring out our second caution. It looks like it was the Dylan and Dylan show. Cars were already making their pit stops, and it looks like Dylan Young may have just cut a tire, and he gets right into the lap machine of Dylan Pote as he just turns right into the safer barrier as Pote finishes the job. But I don't think it ends there, because there was a lot more damage going on here as Dylan Young spins out, and there's already smoke coming from the 31. And oh man, Pote actually got hit by Brayson Mitchell, last week's winner. And oh man, Allison Rain had absolutely nowhere to go as the 41 gets clobbered into Allison Rain. Kyle Matthews also get into it, as well as Stephen Colin, who was en route to a good finish here today. Aaron Macklin also gets into it. Oh man, a lot of drivers were getting into it here. It's just a pileup back here. Tim Fiegel gets into the back of Aaron Macklin. Oh man, Jessica Shelton gets into the back of Brayson Mitchell. Joshua Osborne hits Jessica Shelton. Oh man, Charles Sanford gets into Brayson Mitchell, and there's Alex Drayton in the number 14. I saw him get some front end damage. And there's Nathan Orman driving through the grass, as we saw Dougie Shears already taking his pit stop. And there's Ryan Acosta deep in the grass. Oh man, just a huge chain reaction here in the closing laps of the Pennzoil 400. Before we head back to live action, let's ride on board with the number 12 Pennzoil Ford Mustang of Danny Wells. There's the contact with Dylan Young and Dylan Poteet up ahead. And there's the second is piling up. Luckily, Danny Wells followed the Hendrick Motorsports cars and manages to avoid trouble. And here we are back at Las Vegas for the Pennzoil 400, and unfortunately this race will in fact end under caution. And we have a ton of drivers now retired out of the race, and here they are. We have Dylan Poteet, Allison Rain, Michael Norman is still 2 laps down, Dylan Young, Jessica Shelton, Kyle Matthews, and that's it. Well, I really didn't want this race to end under caution, but it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. But now I have to take a look and see, like, to make sure that no one else comes down pit road, and if things stay the same, we may have a brand new winner here getting his first ever career Sega Cup Series career win as they're heading into turns 3 and 4 for the final time, making no indication for pit road. Yes, this will be official. Following the pace car to take the yellow flag and the checker flag, Matt McIntyre in the number 27, he will take home the Pennzoil 400 under caution. James McLeod with another runner-up finish here. He will have to take home second place. Christina Bell running the Gunslinger tribute colors on her number 40 will take home the podium finish of third. Steven Gonzalez ends up fourth after starting in this race dead last, and James Silver Fox out of Red Bull Racing ends up with a top 5. But this day here will belong to Matt McIntyre out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports. S4 Pennzoil 400 race number 4, and this race is official. Matt McIntyre under caution. He will take home the Pennzoil 400 here today. Jonathan Zorlin, Sky Commons, Nathan Hudson, Cody Lamas, and Brett Kennenberg ends up with a top 10. Then we have McIntyre's teammate James Qualls ending up with 11th. A good day for both of these guys. Dustin Steller, who started second, ends up with a 12th place finish. Simon Oscon ends up 13th. Levi McIntyre 14th. And Alex Franti ends up with a top 15. Then we have Seth Cole, Danny Wells, Joshua Osborne, Nathan Orman, and Aaron Macklin round out the top 20. Then we have Cole Deaver, Brayson Mitchell, Charles Sanford, Tim Fiegel, and Ron Acosta. That's the top 25. And then we have Mitchell Collins, Zachary Fitzwater, Dougie Shears, Jake Rogers, who had a strong showing. Both he and Dougie Shears did, but unfortunately they were just 2 laps short of making it for the rest of the way. Then we have Alex Drayton, who rounds out with the top 30. Then we have RJ Bishop, Joshua Mudd, and Stephen Cullen rounds out the last car running on the lead lap. Then Michael Norman will end up 34th, 2 laps down. And from 35th on down to 42nd, we have the rest of the drivers who wrecked out. Kyle Matthews, Jessica Shelton, Dylan Young, Allison Rain, Dylan Poteet, William Brock, Cole Daly, and Brandon Crasta. Well, that does it here for Vegas, but we're not done in the desert just yet. We're just going to go a little ways over here as race number 5 will take place at Phoenix International Raceway. So don't forget to stay tuned into that. Congratulations one last time to Matt McIntyre for taking home the Pennzoil 400, and we'll see you next time.